Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley as we careen into Labor Day weekend and the start of the football season. This is the Anthony Gargano Show presented by Rite Aid. Find all of your favorite goods from the store nearest you. And yeah, talk is all about football. We have cut down day today. It's a big deal. Eagles will be set. We're going to get into their expectations and what we should expect. But I don't want to get lost in just football. Now, I always joke about it all the time. Football, can't wait for it. But really what I can't wait for is meaningful sports. So September brings meaningful sports. It begins, obviously, NFL and college football. And then you got baseball and then the start of basketball and hockey shortly thereafter. And I don't want to lose the beauty of baseball. And it happened last night. It really happened over the last weekend. And I said to VG last week, and I said, listen, come September or whenever it's going to be, the Phillies are going to have won 8 of 11, and we're going to be looking at the playoffs, and we're going to have forgotten all about this stretch, right? We're going to forget about it. It's like you go through it, and you think it's the end of the world, and I get all the social media and DMs and tweets, and everybody saying, oh, they're done, and comment section, oh, they stink, they're done, they're off, shut up, cuz, they're not going anywhere. And I get it. In the throes of a losing streak, in the throes of how bad it looked, it starts to mess with your mind, and you start to fast forward to October, even though it's August. And then what happens? Just on a particular day, you start to get out of it. And on a particular day against, Brady Singer in the heartland, Kansas City, against a good team, you start to come back. JT gets you 2 home runs. And then you pile on the next day against another good pitcher in Lugo. You get another 11 runs. You put up 22 runs in 2 days, and all of a sudden you feel like yourself. And then you're home against another good team in the Astros. This game's different. This game's not about a slew of runs and all about the bats. This is your best pitcher on the mound and the Astros' best pitcher in Blanco. And so what happens is you're in the pitcher's duel. You're down 2-0. And you scratch your way back. And the next thing you know, you're in extra innings. And the Astros have their left-handed power closer who throws fire. And yet you have your MVP candidate. You have your bright light player at the plate. And he delivers. And there's Bryce Harper. And it's a walk-off. And it's their 7th walk-off of the season. And that follows the 2 games with the bats. And now all of a sudden, you feel like we're back. Now, I know there was that moment against the Dodgers in L.A. where they took 2 or 3, and it felt like they were back. I think they're back. I think this is kind of what it is. And when you see it play out last night the way it did, bullpen, again, was terrific. Estevez was really good. Strahm, really good again. Hoffman had some issues, but he was still clean. Look, you get your bullpen rolling. You got, timely hitting. Bryce all of a sudden comes up with, clutch against a flamethrower and Hader. I mean, that's what it is. These are these moments. This is the beauty of baseball, man. This is why I love that sport. It's so frustrating and so maddening, and it can just grip you, and it just messes with your head. And the next thing you know, you're out of it. Something happens. And really, in this case, it was stringing together hits, scored some runs, and you just start to feel it, right? Like you just start to feel like yourself again. This ball club is good. It's going to come down to Ranger, right? Like we said, it'll come down to, like last year in Arizona, can they, survive getting pitched backwards? Because come October, the book of the Phillies don't give him fastballs, and they're not going to see a lot of fastballs. So they're going to have to adjust right off the bat. It's going to come down to that. And that October is a different type of season. You can't predict it. You can't predict October at the end of September. You can't predict it. You just got to go in feeling like yourself. And right now, they look like themselves. And that's the beauty, man. The beauty of last night. And that vibe that was at the ballpark on Star Wars night. It was pretty awesome. I know my man was there, VG, Greg Caputo, JP, John Sabata. Good morning, guys.
Yo.
You were there last night.
Yes.
It felt magical again.
It was alive. I mean, I don't know if it was a Star Wars thing, but it was alive.
Was there.
It was pretty jammed up. They didn't reach 40,000 in attendance, which I was surprised the first time since like July, maybe. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. People were into it. Yeah,
well, it's not. And this is the beauty of that.
Felt like pre-All-Star game.
And you know what it is too? Like the beauty of the sport is that it can change so quickly. Like it's a sport that can just drive you insane, right? Drive you completely mad. And then all of a sudden, without realizing it, because you can't just snap your fingers and get out of it, right? Like you just can't force your way out of it. It just has to come.
Yeah. You know what? It's helpful that it's the Astros. I didn't realize how much hate people still have for this team and the cheating. Yeah. Like Bregman comes up, it's just like boo.
Yeah.
And Altuve came up. Man, when they announced Altuve, everyone was just like booing and booing at every pitch they're booing. And I got a video of when he grounds out.
Yeah.
Just wait till the end to see the guy 2 seats or 2 rows in front of me. It's hysterical, this guy.
Yeah.
They're so happy he makes it out. Watch this dude in front of me.
That's beautiful. He gives it out too many fingers. I love it. But you know what? Listen, they beat us in the World Series. That's why that's reaction.
Yeah.
That rivalry was real, man. I swore when the Phillies were up in that series 2-1, I swore we're having another parade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, did you guys think the way that series was going?
Absolutely. They're like our Patriots. They're like the Astros are the Patriots. It feels like they eat Patriots for the Eagles.
And it's so hard. You're right, JP. It's so hard to have a dynasty in baseball. They're the closest thing. They're always around. You're always there.
They're never
reload.
Out.
Yeah.
They started slow. They're never out.
No. And it looked like this year they would finally drop off.
Yeah.
And they're back. And they have another kid. That kid Whitcomb.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shea Whitcomb.
He's nasty.
5 straight games with a hit at least.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good young ball player. Like they just find these guys, man, that just come up. Like they really are.
They find arms too, cause out of nowhere.
Yeah, Blanco, Benny Blanco for the Bronx. That's my man Toot said. I mean, like they're nasty, but like to me, what I take is that the beauty of baseball is you're back. Like you feel like they feel like themselves again. Yeah. And it changes, right? Like I was joking with you guys and saying, look, you know what? You can't just snap your fingers and come out of it. But at some point in the near future in September, you're going to forget about this moment.
Well, I think what really had me worried about the Phils as of late has been the bats. And NBC Sports Philly this morning put out they have had 69 runs in the last 12 games. They have won 8 of their last 12 games as well. And so, like, the bats are slowly starting to come alive. And like you mentioned it, last night, they have to use that as a stepping stool for them to continue on this little run that they're going on. August is not over. We still got some tough opponents. But last night with the atmosphere, with the way you won.
That's playoff baseball.
Let's not forget the defensive plays made by Rojas and Bryce Harper in that 10th inning as well. It all accumulated into that great victory.
And Bryce needed that. He needed something. He's been struggling a bit.
Yeah, man.
He hadn't walked in 10 games.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, did you see during the road trip they were pointing out his pitch selection?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been hacking.
Yeah.
He's been at it.
Like he needed he hit it was a hard hit ground ball. I'm down the first baseline. It was a hard hit ground ball, but he just needed. Thank God it went through, and he's got a little mojo back now.
He did. I gotta tell you, I love Harper.
Yeah,
like he's a guy that it's like you just love him. Like he is the superstar, the brightest of bright lights that always comes to play. And I just when he got that when he came through, and look, Hader's nasty.
Yeah, and not having a great year this year, but. He's been better the last month or so.
And he's power. He's power from that side. Mm-hmm. It's hard to hit power. You're a lefty to hit power lefties.
It's true. I got to give props to Schwarbs. Man, he was busting it.
Yeah, he was.
And they clocked it. It's the second fastest he's made it from second to home, 7.12 seconds in his career. And the only other time he was faster was like on a hit and run or he already got a running start. So that's the fastest dude's ever run in his life from second to home.
It's funny. Schwarber's interesting because I don't think he got enough love in his career prior to coming here. Like, I still don't even understand. I remember when the Cubs traded him. Mm-hmm. You remember that Cubs team that broke the streak and they finally won it? And I remember going, like, why in the world would you get rid of Schwarber, who is just a legitimate power guy? And then he goes to Boston, and it's the same thing. Like, why would you get rid of a power? All the guy does is give you power.
I think we kind of underestimate him here. Like, I don't know if we underappreciate him, but we don't hold him up to, like, he's like a Ryan Howard, Mike Schmidt with his home runs here. He's a big bopper, man.
Yeah. No, he is. He's more like Luzinski.
I know, but he's better than Luzinski. But we view him like a Luzinski. But he's better.
Yeah. Well, but he's not Schmidt, right?
I mean, his few years here.
I mean, the number. Listen, like you got to extrapolate.
40.
You got to extrapolate, right?
Yeah.
So just the vibe of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's so different because since he bats leadoff, it's such a different vibe where, with Howard, it was like, let's get the big boy up.
Yeah.
Right? Let's get Peace up. And so it had a different vibe than Schwarber leading off the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what you feel.
Yeah.
But if you look at just as his sheer, greatness as a power hitter, as a player,
And what they say he brings to the clubhouse. I mean, he's
he's
really
a
the
great
heart and
clubhouse
soul of
guy.
the clubhouse.
He is. I just don't understand why in the world you would trade him
Frankie
in Chicago
Barber said
or
it was
Boston.
pre-DH back then with Chicago.
Yeah.
So that could be a reason.
Yeah, it's true. But in Wrigley Field, and you got that kind of power.
Right.
I mean, he played the field. It wasn't like he didn't play the field. You stick him out there and left and be done with it.
Yeah, but he's such a difference maker. Like, think about it. Like, if he hits a home run to lead off a game, it's so hard for the Phillies to lose that game there.
Listen, I'll never go down that road again. But I mean, if this was another world, he's hitting 4, right? Yeah, I'm still in that mode. But you're right. I mean, listen, JP, you're up 1-0. That's a big deal. It really is.
Yep.
I just think, him and Harper, 2. Like, I would have Harper 2 and Schwarber 4. But whatever. I mean, we've been through that a million times, so I don't even bring it up anymore. You just brought it up, so it made me think. I just love the beauty of the game, man. Is how your fortunes change. I'll tell you one thing, back end looked good last night.
Yeah, they're rolling right now. I mean, you got Kierkegaard, Hoffman, Strom, Estevez. They all look good. Alvarado's a little worrisome.
Well, he's on the leave.
Hopefully everything's
I
all
know.
right.
I mean, I'd be kicking Drew Smiley's tires. I know you're not a Smiley fan, but he's having a good year as his first year as a left-hander out of the bullpen.
Yeah. I'm not a fan, as you know.
Yeah,
Say
so
some Mercado.
I have to live up to my reputation in this chat room, so I got to find a negative last night. This Alec Boehm with this girlfriend is still problematic. He's 0 for 4 last night. Through May, he was 383 with runners in scoring position. Since June, he's 243. It's this chick, man.
Dude,
it's
you sound
a problem.
you sound like Mickey.
Dude,
weaken legs.
Women weekend legs.
Dude, he's got
This is
100
VG.
140
Stay
points.
away from that pet shop team.
Yes.
Stay away from. What is she? She does
Reporter, right?
Yeah, but she does the
ESPN?
gambling. What does she do?
Yeah, she's a gambling woman.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
a local girl too.
She's awesome,
Yeah,
actually.
she's good.
So her work is unbelievable.
Go hang out with a Met or a
Stay
Brave.
away from that gambling game.
Stay away from the Phillies bull dugout, man.
Early night by
She's
BG.
hysterical.
I mean, is it causation? There's definitely a correlation. I don't know.
It's
The
all right,
guy was
Alan.
so money.
It's all right.
now
He'll be
he's-
back.
We
He'll be back. He's all right.
we're so funny with these athletes in a relationship. I remember when Carson once started getting married, everyone was like, "Oh, this is why he's declining. He just got married, started having kids." We're always worried about these little things.
Hey, man, the
'cause
numbers.
We're
The
insane.
numbers are the
Now,
numbers. Are the
like, if
numbers.
you're Alec Boehm, you're going, yo, dude, leave me alone. All right,
Trying to have a regular life.
Can I have my girl? All right, yeah.
Apparently not.
All right.
The numbers.
Can I have my girl?
The numbers are the numbers.
All right, just we're gonna take a 2-week stretch or whatever.
Numbers don't lie, guys.
You know.
The numbers don't lie with this guy.
No, it's more the home run hitting contest than the girlfriend. Every time one of our guys is in a home run hitting contest, it messes with your swing.
These numbers go back to June when this dating started. My numbers go back to June, pre
When
All-Star game.
listen to the preposition. This dating started.
Yeah. It's nonsense. He needs like a curfew.
No, VG, he just needs to adjust. You know, there's
His
an
phone, he's
adjustment
probably
period.
up all
all right?
night texting.
Yeah, little FaceTime calls late night.
Well, don't forget, you
the
always
streak
got
going.
to text before you go to sleep.
Snapchat.
Exactly.
You know, you got to text.
He's
before
probably
you go-
pulling that Mark Wahlberg or whatever. They probably sleep on FaceTime together to put their phones up and sleep together. There's something going on with this Alec Boehm.
All right, take a chill.
Back
Take a gummy.
Back to the cages.
Leave Boehm
9
alone.
days till kickoff.
Leave Boehm alone.
Hey,
Take a
Nick
gummy.
Foles days.
I'm glad you brought that up because coming up, I want to talk about expectations with the Birds. All right, I want to get to it. In fact, you and I disagree over this. It's interesting. You feel like you don't have expectations, and I think you should.
I have the expectation of I think this is going to be a fun season. I think the offense is going to be really good. The defense, I think, will struggle. And coming off of that collapse, it's hard to be like, Super Bowl. We have 2 new coordinators. We got a bunch of young
All right,
people.
well, hold on, because we'll get into it. Because I think you should. I think, in fact, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't have those aspirations. All right, JP, tell us about some Shady Rays.
Oh, yeah, cuz, let's get it. My favorite. Ladies and gents, summer may be over, but listen, in the fall, the sun does not go away. I want to make sure you are protecting your eyeballs all year long with my favorite product in Shady Rays. As we all know, I am a sunglass nut. So when I'm looking for my sunglasses, I'm looking for a great style. I'm looking for a great price. And Shady Rays has everything that I need in those sunglasses, all right? We all know that, sunglasses aren't cheap, especially if you're looking for a higher quality one, right? You're spending, north of $200, $500, $1,000. It's a lot of money for a pair of sunglasses. What Shady Rays will do for you is that they will give you a high quality pair of sunglasses, but you're not going to break the bank over here, all right? So you can see the wide range of different styles that they have. You can see those great prices they have as well. And we've always been there where we happen to lose or break those sunglasses. Shady Rays will replace those first ones there for you. You won't even have to worry about that because you're going to love them so much. You're going to treat them like your baby. But if you happen to run into that, Shady Rays will take care of you. But don't take it from me. Take it from over to 300,000 people who have rated Shady Rays 5 stars or more. We always have you covered with that promo code here, ladies and gents. So today, head on over to Shady Rays. Use the promo code PHLY, and this will get you 35% off those polarized sunglasses. Again, PHLY is that promo code, 35% off those polarized sunglasses. Get your eyes protected and stay styling and profiling today with our friends over at Shady Rays.
It's allergy season still. Fall allergies, they begin early August. They last well into November, so you got a ways to go before you're feeling
Thanks,
yourself.
Buddy. Appreciate it.
And the main culprits, dust mites, thanks Skeeves, pet dander, fur, and those plants such as sagebrush.
He is a dust mite.
He's got a dust mite vibe. So yeah. And those
What did you say today? What'd you say today, Skeeves?
I don't know. What did I
Is
say?
Jalen in Brazil?
No, the mural I showed
The mural. JP's like, wow, look at this. It's awesome, man. It's Hurts and Jordan Love. There's a mural in Brazil.
He didn't say mural.
I know. He didn't say mural. He said, look, they're in Brazil. And then Skeeves goes, oh, the Eagles are in Brazil.
I didn't have my coffee
They
yet,
didn't
all
make
right?
the cuts yet. They're already in Brazil. They're going to send guys back. Anyway, the main culprits are
Copacabana.
sagebrush and those weeds we don't like, tumbleweed and pigweed. Those allergens hit your body, histamines go nuts, and then they cause some symptoms such as runny nose, itchy or watery eyes, wheezing. So you got to get some antihistamines and some meds to help you get back to normal. What you can do to get relief, you can start by signing up for Rite Aid Reward emails at riteaid.com/rewards to receive email alerts for pollen. And, ragweed is through the roof today. So,
Is it?
Yeah,
No,
ragweed's crazy. Got my alert. Use a dehumidifier, shower frequently, and, keep your windows closed and use an air conditioner if you got it. Over-the-counter options are available for you at your local Rite Aid. Try a nasal rinse to flush out your nasal passages. When symptoms are flaring like they are for most of us, antihistamines such as Claritin and Zyrtec work. And you can also try corticosteroids like Flonase and Nasacort. And Rite Aid's got all this stuff in their own brand, which is just as good and saves you a little money. If you still got questions, not getting relief, ask your Rite Aid pharmacist if there's a different type of allergy medication like a decongestant that might be necessary. And you can always ask your Rite Aid pharmacist for recommendations on ways to get relief during allergy season.
All right, buddy. Coming up at 9:30, about 8 minutes, we're going to talk to Bo Wulf, our daily training camp report, and our preseason report. It's cut day, big day. Eagles have already made a bunch of moves. We'll go through it with Bo. Nobody of note yet, but we'll go through it all with Bo. Coming up at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, my old friend Glen Macnow is going to join us. G-Mac, the professor, the prof, called it a career. Great career. We're going to talk to the prof coming up at 10. Johnny Marks coming up at 10:30. So a lot of fun with visiting with our friends this morning. But let's get back to the Eagles and expectations. So you have an offense that is the best offense on paper in the history of the franchise. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. You can go through receivers. They have the two best receivers, arguably the best tandem ever. You got the Barkley, who will be a workhorse, a dramatic upgrade, a running back they haven't had since LaShawn McCoy. You have a terrific tight end in Dallas Goedert. You just added a third wide receiver. You still have a very stout offensive line, even though you have two bookend tackles that you can count on. Everybody likes the young players. Is the right guard an issue? Maybe, but I actually like Becton. So I look at their line and I go, my only concern with the offensive line is depth, and unless there's some injuries. So I look at that offense and I go, this offense should score. And yesterday I gave you that number. I was looking at their points. And when they in the Super Bowl year 2 years ago, they scored 29 or more points 11 times. All right? When they went to the Super Bowl and won it in the 17th season, they scored 29 or more 11 times. This team should score 30 points at least, 6, 7, 8 times during the regular season.
Absolutely.
I think they should stack 30-point games. Now, do I see a defense that's in transition? Yeah. Am I concerned? If I look at my concerns, can they get enough pressure off the edge? All right. I love the young corner, the young secondary. It might take them a little bit. I think they're better at linebacker than they were last year. I hope, at least. And I think that Jalen Carter becomes a stud. I look at those components, and whether there's new coordinators, there's coordinators that have done it. Like, I would understand your reservations, VG, if you had last year's coordinators. You have two veteran coordinators that have done it. I look at this team, And I go, yeah, the Lions are probably better on paper. They're really good. I don't know about San Fran. That Super Bowl hangover thing is always real. We knew that the Cowboys would re-sign CeeDee Lamb. You asked me that yesterday. I go, it's going to happen. And so that's no surprise. They are what they are. I think this Eagles team, we should have expectations of a Super Bowl. Not Super Bowl or bust, but they're a legitimate contender.
There's a lot of ifs, I feel like you're saying.
If?
Yeah.
I don't think the offense is an if.
Tackles are locked down. I mean, are they missing Kelsey calling out blocking schemes? I mean, that's a big deal. The guard you got a guy who's never played guard before playing guard. That's ifs. Linebacking is ifs. The edge rushers are ifs. The safeties are ifs.
Right guard is not an if. You can't give me right guard as a big. Everybody's got some sort of tiny question mark. That's what that is.
That's
a tiny question mark.
Losing maybe the greatest center of modern football is not like just a random question mark.
There's Bob.
Bob means Jobs.
Bob has walked in.
This is the greatest center maybe of all time they lost. That's a big squiggly line. That's not a little tiny squiggly line.
Because you got your guy that's coming in. I mean, I feel pretty good. Now, is he going to be Kelsey? Of course not. But again, where it all starts, protection begins off the edges, like your tackles.
Agreed.
And they have stout tackles.
I think the offense is going to roll. I think they'll average 29, 30 points a game. But then if you look at the defense, you're like, if Jalen steps up, if the edge rushers come through, if the young guys can play, if the linebackers are better, and if the safeties are better. I mean, that's an entire if on defense.
2 years ago, I know they had a lot of sacks, but part of it I always thought was the level quarterback play. I actually look at the personnel, and I go, I like their personnel better this year. I think they're better off, top to bottom. I know there's more youth.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you're saying that with a handful of guys who's never played in the NFL. I mean, they look like they're going to be great, but I don't know. I think they're going to have a good, fun season.
Yeah, listen, do I think that this defense is the 91 Eagles? No, I don't. I don't think it's the 91 Eagles. Do I think they're the 01 or 02 Eagles?
Are they a top 10 defense?
I think
you need to be in the playoffs.
I don't. I think you could be again, that area, top 11, 12. Like if they're top 12 and they have the number one offense.
Sure, I'm in.
Create some turnovers too. Getting that ball back to the offense.
I
got to protect myself. After that collapse last year, I need low expectations going in, so I'm satisfied and happy at the end.
Yeah, but I don't think you should have a low expectation. I'm not telling you they're a Super Bowl lock. But this team should win a division.
I agree.
I mean,
I think they cruise to the division. I just think I think they struggle in playoff football with the defensive inadequacies until they prove otherwise.
But I don't know how you can look at playoffs. It's such a singular game matchup. It's all about matchups. And who could foretell who's going to be healthy, what teams are going to look like, what offenses are going to look like. Like, to me, you're if you win a division, you're golden, right? Like, you're in it, right? You're going to get a home game.
Yeah.
You're in it. Let's go. I mean, that's it. It's the same thing with baseball. Like, I can't tell you what they're going to do in October. My only thing is get one of the top 2 seeds.
Oh, exactly.
That's it. Exactly. All right? Get one of the top 2 seeds in the NFL. Win a division. All right, and then when the playoff comes around, we can discuss
I'm a
how they
Nelly.
look.
I think they're going to cruise to the division. How's that a negative like Nelly? I think they cruise to the division.
But you this morning, you were like, I don't have expectations.
I don't think
listen, I like the Lions. But the Lions, I
don't know. You've been hyping up the Lions a good bit the last couple of weeks.
I'm not hyping them up. I think they're a good team. Yeah. But am I shaking about the Lions? No. I mean, I think they're a good team. I think they're probably on paper the best team in the NFC. But that doesn't – I don't think they're the 84 Niners.
No, I'm just going to say, how do you look at this roster and then look at the rest of the league or the rest of the NFC and think that there is an expectation? The expectations are there. I mean, this is a good team, especially when you compare them to the Lions, to the Niners, and the big teams in the NFC.
Not a lot of them either.
Yeah, it's not.
You got the Niners. You got the Cowboys. I'm going to the Cowboys. I mean, I like the Packers. I think the Packers are good.
I like Packers, and I think the Rams are sneaky good this year.
Yeah, I'd go there. But again, these teams are not like the Eagles are right. Like the Eagles, would it shock you if the Eagles had the number 1 overall seed? It wouldn't shock me.
I would be shocked.
Really, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah,
If they get the number 1 seed, the defense played better than we expected them to.
Yeah. Now, again, I'm not expecting it, but I'm expecting you got to win a division.
Exactly. I'm right there with you.
It's 9:30. This portion of the program brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Let's welcome to the program on Cutdown Day. On top of the story, as always, he's the great Bo Wulf. All PHLY Eagles.
Can we just get Bo to wear those like cop sunglasses all the time, even when he's at home? It'd be such a good image and look for you, Bo. You just rock those glasses all the time.
The aviators? What do you have?
Like the aviators.
His practice sunglasses.
Oh, the ones from those are nice.
Yeah,
Shady Rays.
You look great.
Shady Rays.
He knows.
That's it.
Bo knows.
All right, brother. Let's get down to it. So they already cut some guys. Nobody of note, nobody of shocked, right? No, you're not shocked by any of these cuts.
I haven't. I'm efforting to get my crown back as the king of the beats, the reporter who has won the 53-man prediction contest. I'm still haven't missed anybody yet.
Yeah.
Now some people had Andre Sam on, who they waived yesterday, according to Andrew DeCecco, the undrafted safety out of LSU. I thought he popped. He'll probably be back on the practice squad. And then we do have to pour one out. DeCecco reported this morning. Lou Nichols.
No!
That's okay. Unfortunately, thanks to the urging of Matt Quinn from Mount Joy, E.J. Jenkins is the new Bo Wulf Camp Crush, and so we're still alive there.
He didn't even get practice squad, Lou Nick?
Oh, I think he might be back on the practice squad, but
okay.
we'll see. Yeah, that stuff all shakes out, tomorrow.
I don't know about that, brother. But
Tyron Davis-Price, I played him in the games. There's no doubt about it. Can't argue.
So, what are we looking at the rest of the day? How are you kind of looking at who gets? What are they going to do? Let's look at cornerback first. How are they going to? What's your best guess at handling the cornerback situation? Do you think there's a trade?
I think there's a possibility. I think we have talked about Eli Ricks as a possibility before, as a guy who could be traded. To me, I think they keep Eli Ricks because it's trading now is a buyer's market, right? Like if you were going to trade Eli Ricks and you think that he is a guy who is roster worthy and belongs as someone who can grow into being like the third outside corner on a team eventually, and this is the second year of his rookie contract, I think if you're going to trade him, you traded him 2 weeks ago when you could get an actual return that might matter. If you're trading him now, you're talking about like a conditional 7th or a 7th for a 6th, something like that, or potentially a player that they could use. I think they keep him, but I think that's one of like the last 2 spots on the roster is what they're going to do with that. And so to me, it's you've got 5 guys locked and loaded. You've got the starters: Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Isaiah Rodgers, and Keely Ringo. Although I do have to say, because I was watching the sideline at the game on Saturday, trying to keep an eye on who was on the sideline, who wasn't playing, because this is when mystery injuries pop up that we haven't heard about. And I did not see Isaiah Rodgers on the sideline, and I didn't see him in the locker room after the game. I tried to ask around, could not hear anything about it, but I think that is something that could be up in the air. And then after that, Avonte Maddox makes this team as the third safety. You've got C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship. There's some question about whether James Bradbury is going to make it. I think there are some people who think that he is because he offers some versatility. To me, the versatility with Avonte and Cooper DeJean and Sidney Brown when he comes back, I don't expect that James Bradbury is going to be on this roster. And then there's a question about if they keep Tristan McCollum after the good game he had on Saturday. Do they need a 4th safety on the roster? In my prediction, I have them not keeping him, but I think that it's possible that he could be on there.
Yeah, I don't see that. I agree with you. I don't see a 4th safety in that
because they have
spot.
other guys who can do it.
Yeah, and Sidney Brown. What's the timetable you think with him?
It's a good question. It's possible that he could be on the roster, and this is one that people are not expecting. Most people are expecting him to be on PUP to start the season, which means that he would be out for the first 4 weeks and then eligible to return in week 5. I mean, the timing of his injury, like a late December torn ACL, that does track, and we haven't seen him like running off to the side in practice like we had seen with Cooper DeJean when he was ramping up. But this is something that, like, if they think he's going to be ready in 2 weeks, he's a good player. I think that they will. Then they will keep him on. So it'll depend on what the doctors say.
Yeah. We got into this discussion of expectations. Let me ask you a question. What's in a sentence? What's your expectations of this team? We know what the roster is going to be, so you've seen it. Other than tight end, which we've talked about, maybe the lad there. Jack Stoll became available, as JP said earlier, from the Giants.
Get the parade ready.
Exactly.
Get the confetti ready. We could get Stoll back.
The Stoll. So I'll ask you, what's your expectations?
So I do think that I think there is a really wide variance for what this team could look like. The roster, they could run away with the NFC, right? Like, this is a team that could win 14 games. If Jalen looks like he did 2 years ago, everybody stays healthy, the offensive line doesn't take a significant step back, and if the defense is just mediocre, if they're like the 15th best defense in the league, I think this offense is talented enough to carry them, especially because the schedule is pretty easy this year, right? It's much more like a 2022 schedule than a 2023 schedule. However, I mean, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, a lot of variables. Like, how does the Sirianni thing work with new coordinators on both sides of the ball? What if the offensive line is not good? What if the defense is a disaster? I think that's possible. I think the range is like 6 wins to 14 wins. But my honest expectations are that they win the division.
Man,
I think that's
thought
possible.
I was negative.
Yeah.
I think they're winning 10-11. 6.
But I think
I'm probably 10 to 14.
You don't think there's any scenario in which they win 9 games?
No.
Come on.
No, I'm serious. I mean, we're discounting catastrophic injury, right?
Sure, but some injury.
Like, if Hurts goes down,
if one of the wide receivers goes down,
then obviously,
sure, quarterback injury doesn't count. But if AJ or Devontae misses 4 games and the offensive line isn't very good, and the defense,
I'm expecting the offensive line they may certainly miss Kelsey. Kelsey's Kelsey, but having the stability at the tackles and then the one guard spot. I mean, I love those tackles. Now, you were telling me Lane Johnson,
too. And I love Lane Johnson. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's 34 years old and he's missed time each of the past however many seasons, right? Like,
yeah, not a ton of time, and he's a lock. Like, he's a great player. He is.
I think he's the best right tackle in football, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But he's 34. Like, injuries come for guys at that age.
Yeah, I'm not discounting, but there's a difference between being out, 10 weeks and being out 3 weeks.
Sure, I agree. But I think, the defense could be bad. Anyway, my honest expectations are that they win this division fairly handily, and they are a 2 or 3 seed entering the playoffs, and I think you're talking like 11 wins. That's my honest expectation.
Dude, that's exactly where I'm at.
Dude, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You're not over there. You were telling me this morning. I
don't know, Super Bowl. I just said
No,
they're going to cruise the division.
You said no way they can make the Super Bowl.
I said they're going to cruise through the division with 10 or 11 games.
No, you didn't. You said
the playoffs
they were not going to make the Super Bowl.
I need the red hanky. Challenge to play.
Go back and look at it. What did he say, JP? He said they're not making the Super. They're not going to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, he did say 10-11.
Okay, so how do you cruise to 11 wins and not and have no shot at the Super Bowl?
Because the schedule's kind of easy and the offense is going to roll.
That's
ridiculous.
What I said. No, you didn't say roll. You did nothing. All of a sudden, you're Cassius. No way.
Bo, you're a smart guy. Me and you, I like this Bo Wulf guy. He's all right. I like his takes.
What's the question?
I don't know.
Was there a question? Did I miss something?
You said I like your take.
I like you too, VG.
You didn't mimic his take. Your take was that you're not going to win. I had no expectation.
We're in lockstep. Hey, I do want to know.
Your ass is in lockstep with your crazy. Go kick a dummy.
Anaya Smith. Suddenly he's injured.
Make sure you share the gummies, VG.
Suddenly, Anais Smith is injured. He didn't have a good camp. If he was an undrafted free agent, would he be cut?
Yeah. I mean, I think he was going. I don't think he was going to make the team anyway. There's some debate about that. It's true that he looked a little bit better over the last week than he did the first 3 weeks of camp, but I don't think you can justify keeping him. This is one where, like, the whole roster watches practice too, right? They see the same thing, and you can't look those guys in the eye and be like, thanks for all the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears you poured out in practice. You can't say that compete is like one of your main core principles and put somebody who underperformed like that on the roster. I know that he has draft equity, but this is a very convenient. I'm not doubting the injury. I'm sure that he is banged up. And honestly, I think that the injury he suffered in the spring was a factor here. But I think this is a nice, convenient, soft landing spot. Let's get him healthy, see what he looks like next season, and you put him on IR. That makes the most sense to me.
I also couldn't believe, I think I read your predictions. You have Brent Toth, the Swiss Army knife of this offensive line, on the practice squad, perhaps?
It's not going anywhere.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't like that at all either. I like Toth on this active roster.
You got to think about VJ. It's not just how they're going to be used. It's what does the league think of these guys? Brett Toth has been in the league for like 5 years.
People know what he can do.
He's been on waivers a lot. He never gets claimed. Now, last year, the Panthers poached him from the Eagles practice squad, and he was there for like 3 weeks, and then they waived him, and he came back to the Eagles practice squad. I think that the Eagles can get like a little 2-for-1 here. I think Nick Gates is probably a little bit higher thought of around the league. Showed enough in the preseason that he would land somewhere. So my prediction is that they keep Gates and then try to bring Toth back on the practice squad, and you have both guys still in the building.
It's a risky move with the game tape Toth has out there from this preseason. I don't know.
Were you blown away by that game tape?
Yeah, man, he looks.
I got to stop. He's just got to stay right there. And,
let's do 45 more minutes on Toth.
I can't take it. He's already. I love him to death, but sometimes you ever go out and with your friends, you're maybe you're the designated driver, and everybody else is half whacked, right?
That's how you feel this morning?
And you're in the middle of it, and you're stone sober, right? That's how I feel every day next to Violence is Greg.
Well, listen,
I brought him on because I love him to death, and he's a great sportsman. But it all depends on whatever levels are in his body.
Well, that's the thing, cuz, is that, sometimes the Eagles have a good game, sometimes they have a bad game. You got to accept that. Sometimes VG's bringing it, sometimes he's not. That's okay. Maybe he didn't study the tape this week. That's fine.
All right, enough. I got to ask you a couple things, because it's funny about this expectation thing. Obviously, if you win the division, you're a contender. Like, no, you can't figure out what's going to happen once that tournament starts. It's always about who's hot, who's healthiest, how does that work? It's very rare. The only time when I thought the Eagles were a lock for the Super Bowl was in 2004, when you looked at the rest of the conference and the next best team was Green Bay. And the Eagles were much better. And then, in fact, they played on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and they rolled them. They were clearly the best team in the NFC.
I felt pretty good in 22. I know that the Niners were good, but the Eagles had home field advantage. They were well rested. I felt pretty good that they were going to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, and you get the Giants in the first round, right? Yeah. So you felt good about that. I agree. I thought the Eagles were better. Remember that situation. I mean, forget about the Purdy injury. Purdy wasn't going to beat them on that day. I don't think, whether or not he gets hurt or not.
I totally agree. That was, it was a nice, convenient excuse for the Niners that they had those injuries. That's the reason they lost. I don't think they were winning that game.
No. But again, this offense, it's all going to come down to Hurts, the way I see it, right? Like the way everything's in place. We could split the difference on the O-line, and maybe it's not as great as it was last year. Either way, teams are going to pressure him, right? You know that teams are going to go, all right, this the way the book on Jalen is to load it up, and we're going to send people at you, and you're going to have to beat us. So
there was a quote about that in Mike Sando does the quarterback tiers article every year for The Athletic, and there was somebody, an anonymous person in the league who said that Jalen Hurts is going to see a lot of blitz zero early in the season to see that if he can prove that he can beat it or not. And there's no doubt that is one of the major questions about this team entering the season. I agree with you. I think that this team is going to go where the offense takes it. I think the defense will be fine.
Right.
But I don't think that their season is going to depend on the quality of the defense. If this offense is just good, if it's like the 7th best offense in the league, it's going to be a disappointing season. This offense is built to be a top 3 offense. They need to be elite. And if they're going to be elite, it needs to be a great season from Jalen Hurts. The offensive line needs to hold up. But there's no doubt that, Howie has put together weapon-wise with AJ, Devontae, Dallas, Saquon, and now Jahan Dotson as the 5th option. Like, it's there for the taking. And the schedule is not that hard. If they're not a top 5 offense at least, I think this is going to be a disappointment.
Totally. Spot on. I mean, I gave those numbers yesterday about the point totals, how many times they've reached 29 or more. And this offense.
Top of the show, I heard it.
Yeah, this is all about their offense. They've always, and Jeffrey Lurie, I mean, look, he's wanted just to have an offense. That's what he loves. He knows that that's how you win in this league. He and Howie go, we're going to build this offense to where it's unstoppable. So
yeah, and I think he's right for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, defense matters, no doubt, but defense is variable year to year. It's not consistent, whereas offense is. And so the most sustainable thing you can do long term is to build up your offense. And so even though they pour draft resources into the defense on the defensive line and this year the secondary, there's no doubt that they know that they're going to go as far as the offense takes them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was talking to a friend of mine covers nationally. And he was like, and we agreed about CeeDee Lamb, and obviously he knew they were going to sign him. But he's like, watch out. I keep telling you. And I go, I just don't see it. I would be colossally disappointed if the Eagles did not win the division.
I agree with you. I think the Cowboys will be good. They always have drama. I think there's a real chance that Dak leaves and doesn't sign there in the offseason. He's going to get paid more than anybody in the history of the league, right? But as long as they stay healthy, their defense should still be very, very good. I'm intrigued by, Mike Zimmer as a defensive coordinator after some time away. I like a Zimmer, and obviously Micah Parsons is awesome. And their offensive line, it sounds like Tyler Guyton is ready to go week 1 as a starting left tackle. That's nice. CeeDee Lamb is unguardable, right? So, yeah, I think they're going to be very good, but I think the Eagles should be better.
Yeah, I'm with you. Bo Wulf, 2 o'clock today, you and Zach to go over the roster. What's the deal? And then will you do something after?
And then we're double dipping today because we got the show at 2, and then we're going emergency podcast tonight at around 7 after we know what the roster looks like and we've heard from Howie and Nick.
Love it. That's great. Going to be fun. We'll be watching. We'll be following along. You guys kill it. From our all PHLY Eagles show. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Coming up in about 10 minutes, the professor, Glen Macnow, will join us. And then Johnny Marks. And we'll have a nice announcement with Johnny that we can't wait for. All right, VG, let's go some nugs.
Oh, nugs. All right. Whoa, early nugs.
Well, I wanted some nugs.
Get alive, Frazier. Get alive, Frazier. Early nugs.
Never early enough for nugs.
How about him? He looks
right. He's busy playing a video game over there, doing the interview. He's not ready.
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
No, he's getting his fantasy team together. All right, he's got to
one more time.
Study the line.
I'm doing my job. Okay.
How about he goes? Yes, I had that. Whose defense you have?
Baltimore.
I got the Ravens defense.
Did you draft him in the 4th round or something like that?
No, I did not. I picked him in the 10th or 11th.
Okay. Meanwhile, Jamie's in the league that doesn't even have a defense. They drop defense and kickers. He's telling us it was defense.
I would have just signed one.
All right. NFL Today, 1977. Some people are circulating their intro from the CBS show. And pretty much everything you see in the intro clip is now considered an illegal tackle or move, so it just shows you how much the game has changed.
I love this.
Brown 40. 45.
mask.
Brown, 45. Hot, 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 hot.
Herb Claus.
Sweetness. Penalty. Yeah, first down. Penalty.
This one.
Who's this?
Penalty.
Penalty. This is our highlights.
This is so 70s. Look at that.
We should go back to this. This is how football should be played.
Dude, that was awesome.
That was good, man.
Pretty crazy, right? The game is just completely different. Doesn't even look like itself.
No.
I used to love watching NFL films growing up.
The clothesline, like,
Oh, my God.
man, that was wild.
Guys running full force, it's just a clothesline.
I mean,
That's a-
some of the things that they used to do was nasty.
That's a Dick Night Train Lane move, isn't it? The clothesline.
Yeah. That's incredible, man.
That Raiders team we faced in the Super Bowl in 1980 was that was a pretty
Oh, they were
dirty
nasty.
defense, right?
Yeah. I mean, they had the dirtiest player ever, George Atkinson. And
George
Jack,
Atkinson? I don't
Yeah.
even know that name.
yeah, he's the one who paralyzed Darryl Stingley.
Oh, snap.
And they had Jack Tatum, whose nickname was the Assassin.
I know Jack Tatum.
They had the Stork, Ted Hendricks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had nasty. They had they were a nasty group, the Raiders. Like they lived up to that Raider thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Raider thing was real. Like they loved it.
Even the
They-
quarterback, Kenny the Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was left-handed. Yeah, I remember seeing like old videos of him, and he's sitting down after practice. He's got a beer and a cigarette. Right? Like it's crazy. Like, you just see him. He's got his hands on his knees. He's got a towel around his neck. He's sipping a beer, smoking a cigarette.
That's probably
That is
halftime.
crazy.
Oh my God!
I used to live back then.
Yeah, it's insane. But they were nasty, dude. Like they were. Wow. Oh, Matty Sistrunk.
Lester Hayes.
Lester Hayes, yeah, all to stick 'em.
Speaking.
You saw that? You saw that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they
right?
used to slab that.
He
Yeah,
was like
ugly.
dripping off him.
Oh God.
yeah.
Good segue. Speaking of the Raiders, their new intro is out. Their hype videos, and you know what? They do it big in Vegas.
No, they do.
They
You
do.
saw
The
what
Vegas
they did
Knights.
with the Knights, yeah.
Yes.
They do very, skis would be great because they're very theatric,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
you'd
can
be
hire
good.
me. That's cool.
yeah,
I'll do
you
it.
should be in a Vegas show. I totally see you in a Vegas. You'd be a star in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Who's the guy?
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
EGS.
Who's the guy?
Siegfried Roy.
Yeah, no. Who's the guy? He's like Mr. Vegas.
Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton. We met Wayne Newton, remember?
Yes! Baldy and I sat with him. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Yeah, real nice guy. But Skeeves, our producer, could definitely be Wayne, like a young Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do
I
it.
got a little Wayne
I'm
Newton.
down.
My buddy's a prolific autograph collector, and he was trying to get Wayne Newton at some event, a golf event or something. Wayne said he didn't have any time. And he's like, I'll tell you what, mail it to me and I'll sign it. And my buddy's like, where do I mail it? I need your address. He's like, just put Wayne Newton, Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll get to me. And it got to him. He got
No, he didn't.
Wow.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, dude, because he put a self-addressed return envelope and it came back to him.
He's
Yeah.
probably like the mayor there. He's still.
Just put Wayne Newton, Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll
And it
get
got to him?
Yes.
Did you do up?
That's
with
when you
Wayne
know
Newton?
you have power.
Yeah.
When you have a whole state.
Right?
Yeah,
Well,
for
let me ask you a
sure.
question. What does he do?
Sings, no?
Vegas? Or Wayne?
like, was he a
He
sing-
hasn't had a hit song.
Well, like, was he a big singer? Like, was he?
Have you ever heard his hit Donka Shane when it came out? It sounds like a 12-year-old girl singing. It's before his voice changed.
Oh,
It's
my God.
amazing. I don't know any other song he did.
I only know Wayne Newton from Vegas Vacation.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah, right. I know. I know. That was my question. How does he become like Mr. Las Vegas?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
He's just an ambassador now, for
Well, even
All
back
that.
then, like, what did he like? Did he?
Yeah, I guess
don't
the
even know what he
ladies
did.
like him.
What is he, 80 now?
He's not a crooner, is he?
he's got great teeth, I'll tell you what.
Well, those aren't real.
Oh, yeah, of course, but
Veneers.
All right, let me see.
All
the
right,
Raiders.
here's the Raiders intro with Charles Woodson.
pretty nasty.
No, it's good, man.
And it really is. Except, here's my question.
Okay.
How do you have a hype video knowing that Minshew is your quarterback?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. Skulls and this and that.
And then you look
In
over
the
and-
end, Gardner Minshew's your quarterback.
Well, you don't like his he's the new Ben Simmons. Put out workout videos.
Oh,
Creed.
get the hell out of here. Talking
His
about the
mullet.
old. I never got into the mania. I was never into the mania. Weak ass arm mania.
I can't believe that was a conversation. to
Oh
say.
my God. Just horrible.
Hey, speaking of, there's a little football. So, ticket brokers are releasing, according to Philly Business Journal, like what teams' tickets are the most in demand throughout the league on ticket sites this year. So, do you think the Eagles are in the top 10?
I mean, obviously, I would guess so.
Say top 5.
Top 5? I'll read you down the list. Number 1, Dallas. Number
Still, there's freaking Cowboys.
Yeah, you know.
2, the Raiders. 3, Steelers.
The Raiders. Do you still these think Dolphins?
I think everyone wants to go to Vegas, so the Raiders numbers are inflated.
Makes sense.
3 is Steelers. 4, the
Wow.
Falcons.
Wow, I don't get that.
5, 49ers.
All right.
6, Green Bay.
Okay.
7, the Rams. 8, Bears. 9, Seattle. 10 are Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow, that's wild.
I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I was shocked that they were 10. I thought they'd be top 5.
Yeah, I agree.
The Falcons one's interesting.
What is who's
I don't
traveling to
get
see
that.
the
It's a big
Falcons?
stadium. I'll say.
I don't get that.
Is what?
I said it's the cheap food and the experience.
Yeah, but do you think people are going to travel for that or go to the game for
No.
that?
Gonna make a whole
No.
trip for cheap beers?
No,
Yeah.
no, that's
Just
horrible.
watch the game outside the lake. Go have some
Chick-fil-A.
cheap beers.
Yeah, no, that's horrible. All right, coming up, but I can't wait to talk to my man. The Prof is coming up shortly, but first, JP, I want you to tell people about TrueMark.
You got it, cuz.
And I'll tell people about the Bet Parks Sportsbook and Casino app. That's right. It's a Bet Parks Tuesday. Here we go. Birds open are just days away. The pro football season is just 9 days away, 8 days away. The one and only sportsbook app I'll ever recommend is Bet Parks and Bet Parks Sportsbook Casino app. Great offer for new customers to kick off the upcoming football season. How about 50-1 super odds boost? That's right, to win the title. Whoever you pick to win the title, boost them to 50-1. All new users sign up, make a deposit, receive that 50-1 super odds boost. BetParks.com has all the terms and conditions. That's right, whatever you got. Top 6 favorites: Kansas City, San Fran, Baltimore, Detroit, Cincinnati, and the Birds. There we go. Download the BetParks Sportsbook online casino app right now. Get your super 50-1 super odds boost on your pick to win the title. It's a limited time offer for new customers only. BetParks.com is all the terms and conditions. You got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet Parks. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I love it, cuz. Well, all right. Well, listen. Cuz just hooked you up and helped you to make some dough. So now that you got that dough, let's manage that. Let's make some more while we're at it as well. Because right now over at TrueMark, our friends are trying to, create some financial responsibility, right? And with their new money management tool, they'll be able to help you with managing that money. You can see where it goes. We've always been there, right? You go to the ballpark, right? You bring the kids, you bring your friends or whatever it may be. You got to pay for parking. You got to pay for booze or just, drinks in general, food. Everything starts adding up and the night's over and it's like, where did $500 go? Well, all right, I just went out. But that's where TrueMark Financial comes into play. They will be able to help you track your costs. And also, ladies and gents, all my parents out there, talking to your kids about financial responsibility, you can never start at an earlier age, right? You can start them very young with that financial responsibility, with talking with them. And TrueMark Financial, with their money management tools, they'll be able to help you out with that as well. What I love too, we just talked about going to the ballpark. We've always been there where we happen to lose, the debit or credit card. You feel that little mini heart attack, but with TrueMark Financial and their mobile banking app, you can lock your card as well as track all those finances too. That's very big, guys. It's easy to just hit that lock button and now you don't have to worry about it. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender. If you'd like some more information, one of two things, ladies and gents. You can go to truemark.com/PHLY. Again, that's truemark.com/PHLY. But we have 24 branches in the Philadelphia area. You can walk in today and ask further questions. Be more than happy to help you. So, guys, get your credit union career started here today with our friends over at TrueMark Financial. And thank you to TrueMark Financial, cuz.
All right, JP, thank you, buddy. Here we are, 10 o'clock hour, brought to us by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out the credit union difference, truemark.com/PHLY. Now joining us, oh, man. When I first started and left newspapers, I found the perfect co-host, a guy that was just the consummate professional. And he's been a consummate professional throughout his illustrious career. Please welcome the Prof, Glen Macnow.
Hey! What the hell are you talking about?
What do you say, buddy?
How are you guys?
Oh, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, nice to see you. Hold on. No, this way. Here we go. Okay, nice to see you.
First of all, let me just say congratulations on your retirement. You've had such an amazing career, and I will say, I mean, we need to see more of you. So you can't go away all the way.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not, and I learned the great lesson that if you hang around long enough, people start to think you're good at something. By the way, just so you guys know, my name is not spelled Glen as it is there.
We're having some audio issues. Skeeves, what are we going to do here?
You don't hear me well?
Do us a favor, Glenn. Connect back with us because we want to make sure your mic's not coming through, so we're not hearing you well. So if
I will leave and I will come back. Sorry about that.
We'll try to come back. Yeah, let's try to do that because I want to talk to him about it. The professor, man.
Yeah. We need some advice on how to deal with your craziness. You know,
He's the man
give
to
it to
ask.
us how to survive.
Yeah, I know. Poor Glenn had it way worse. Like, at least now you get me. I'm much older and much more.
Yeah.
Now I just like I'm way more relaxed.
I wonder if the allergies are still that bad.
He's a little beaten down with the allergies. If he starts feeling well, we might be in trouble.
Yeah, we used to mess around and have like the Olympics.
Oh my God.
We used to have the Olympics all the time.
What do you mean the Olympics?
Like we would play all kinds of office games.
Come on, we know him. I can only imagine how this went down.
Wiffle ball, football.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, there were times I'd be like, "Come on, Clint," and he would indulge with me, like block. Say, "Come on, get on. Let's look at this play." He would have fun with it.
We're gonna see if he has another mic because he was having a bad echo. So
Okay.
we're trying to. I'm
All
figuring
right,
it
you'll
out.
handle
Right
it.
now. Yep.
The Skeeves is on the caper.
Skeeves is on it.
He's on the caper. Yeah, but it was.
Except as a Fit Dad CEO points out, it's Glen Macnow on the text on the screen, not Geln.
Oh, is that what Glenn was saying? I already said my name is spelled.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
I didn't hear all.
Oh.
Well, you never know. You never know.
There you go.
Of all things to misspell, not that now or not whatever.
Glenn.
Let me
Not the two Glens at the end.
Yeah. Let me misspell Glenn.
Gellin.
Hey, yeah,
It's a good name.
Schemes, man.
It's his alter ego. Gellin Macnow.
All right, let's get back to this for a second because it is cut down day, and you look at the roster, and I don't want to beat the dead, to keep talking about the expectation thing, but this roster, right, offensively, it's got to be you got to be stacked over the last 25 years. It's got the best skill people.
Yes. No argument there.
Yes.
Easy. No one even close.
Like, I'm with you. I mean, you're right about the Kelsey thing, and that's still, even though we believe it should be okay, and even though I believe that Becton should fill in nicely at right guard, you still got to see it.
Yeah.
So, I'm with you, and like they've had a tremendous offensive line, and they've had depth along that line for a lot of years. So that's changed. But we got him?
Yep.
All right, let's try it again. Professor.
Hey, Skeev's shoulder.
One second.
All right.
I mean, I think where we come down is personality-wise, I'm a PTSD anxiety guy. You're more of an optimist.
Yes.
And that's where we lean.
I am an optimist.
Yeah, that's where we lean.
Yeah, you're right about that. I believe we have the professor, and the professor, his name was fixed. Of course, our producer, Skeeves Glenn, would misspell Glenn. Professor, good morning.
How are you guys? Nice to see you. Sounds better. There we go. Great to see you.
Perfect, dude. That's fantastic. First of all, congratulations, man. Just to say it again, you deserve it. I mean, what a great career. You can't go away altogether, but you can take some time. I know what the grandkids mean to you. You were Mr. Dad long before. And I love that about you, and I took a lot of your tips, buddy.
I appreciate it. I'm a very lucky man. I got 2 sons. I got 3 terrific grandsons that I get to hang out with. Life's pretty good.
I saw you sent me a great picture. It was the generations all together with your dad, with Marv. It was just it did my heart warm, buddy.
Well, we're really lucky. My dad had his 94th birthday last week, and so everybody came in. My sister from California, my dad's brother from Buffalo, and yeah, we had 4 generations, and I know how lucky that is. It's good stuff.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. So, was it surreal? Kind of retiring?
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you when it was, okay? I'm still at the point where I loved doing the show. I loved the actual 3 hours or 4 hours of doing the show, being on the air. But I got really tired of doing all the prep and all the research. And I realized that I haven't been able to just be a sports fan for decades, where I don't have to have an opinion and figure out, like, how am I going to talk about this? And I will tell you, the thing I'm looking to most is watching an Eagles game and just letting it wash over me and not think, oh yeah, the next day I got to talk about this and that. And when I realized that, I thought, like, it's time to retire.
Wow. It's almost like liberating that you watch a game and not have a notebook right next to you and scribble and go, I need to come in strong here. And here's the thing. We got into this, and we both started obviously as writers, but we got into this because we love sports. Like, sitting next to you for all those years, you loved sports. And the one thing that I always loved about you is that piece of it never went away. Like that was our biggest bonding. We were talking about earlier, poor you had me 20 years ago when I was half a goofball. And so we had that bond of, we loved sports. We loved the game.
Yeah, a lot of our best conversations never made it to the air. A lot of our best conversations never would be able to make it to the air, but, See, now you're on a medium where I imagine you can, no FCC rules there, right?
Yeah, but I can't, my kids watch the show, so I refuse to curse. It's programmed in us, right? Not to curse. Yeah. So I don't do it. And I still kind of look down on it. I mean, listen, not for anybody can do whatever they want. God bless. But I kind of would prefer not to do it.
Makes sense to me. That's good. That's cool.
Of our time, one of the things that stood out, I kind of want to go chronologically, is 9/11. Guys, Glenn and I are on the air the morning. We were driving to a remote when 9/11 hit. And I'll never forget, we were at that place in the Northeast.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that place.
It was like near the water. It was,
right.
And go ahead.
Well, here's what I remember. I remember I'm driving in on the Schuylkill, and I'm hearing Al and Angelo interviewing Sugar Ray Leonard. It's like I remember every detail of it. And then all of a sudden, Angelo's asking a question, and Al goes, "The Twin Towers just fell down." And we're like, what the hell? So we go to that restaurant. It was a nice place, and we're kind of like watching TV, trying to figure out like what's going on. And then the second building went down, and we thought, oh, it's a replay, but it wasn't. And that's when we realized this was no plane accident. This was a terrorist attack. Yeah, you and I got on, and that was the day that really showed me what WIP meant, not in terms of sports, but in terms of community.
Yes.
That it was a place where everybody was confused and everybody could gather and people could share their emotions and could cry with us and could talk about their confusion and their fears. And it was a very important day for me in realizing what WIP's audience was. It's not just people who want to hear us talk about Bryce Harper or Jalen Hurts, but really want to share our lives and their lives. That was a critical day for me.
It really was. And it was shocking because I was relatively new. I think I was in my second year or whatever. I kind of remember with you. And it was like, wow, oh my God. And you're thrust into this. Plus, we had lived a pretty charmed life as a country, right? And up for all those years from the Cold War to then that happening was a wake-up call, right? Like, oh my God, we could be attacked. And then all the fallout after it. Do you remember what I loved was that was probably the last time we were that close as a country.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, you'd be driving and somebody'd say like, of course I'll let your car into traffic because in the grand scheme of things, I'll do it. And these people are out of bottled water. I'll make sure they get bottled water. It was the best I've ever seen this country. It was the one time when selfishness ended. And I foolishly thought, okay, we learned that lesson. We'll be that way now moving forward. And then, of course, we've had the last 10 years, which are worse than ever.
Yep. Yeah. No, I thought the same thing. And I kind of long for that closeness, that togetherness. And quite frankly, it saddens me where we're at right now. I mean, that closeness that we experienced after a tragedy, we all came together. This country could be so strong. It's like you remember after Katrina when the country came together to help New Orleans and help all the flood victims. Like we really rise to those occasions.
We did. I hope we could again. I mean, it's more. I'm an old head. I'm a really old head, and I don't know that I'm ever going to see that again.
Yeah.
You know what else I remember about 9/11 afterward?
What's
and
that?
This went on for a while. No planes in the sky.
Yes.
It was so eerie for weeks.
Yes.
No planes in the sky.
Yes. No. You remember they canceled the games that first week, and it was very surreal. Something that almost the only thing, the closest thing was COVID. When COVID shut down everything, it was right. Like that was the same thing.
Except with COVID, immediately everybody got divisive. That was the problem. With COVID, it's like, yes, we should get vaccinated. No, we shouldn't get vaccinated. Yes, we should wear masks. No, we shouldn't. Close the schools. Don't close the schools. And there was never any unity during COVID, and that was the shame. That I just don't think we'll see it again. I just want to get back to it because the 9/11 really was a lesson. I know you always got this, and I'll praise you for it. WIP is not about sports. I mean, it is, right? That's kind of the cover that goes over it. But WIP is about community. WIP is about, we were lucky enough that people let us into their houses or their cars for a couple of hours and allowed us to be their friends. So that I'm sure you have it. For years, people would say like, hey, your son used to be a high school wrestler. How's he doing? Or, I know you got that knee surgery. I'm thinking of getting knee surgery. Tell me about it. And that's the part of it that was very different. You and I both newspaper guys. That's the part of it that was so different from being in newspapers.
Oh, because writing is a cold medium. I love to write. You love to write. But it's very personal, right? Like, I write and you read. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Whereas talk radio and WIP was a discourse. It was, you felt the warmth. And, we met so many people. And being on remote at the McDonald's every week and every other remote that you and I did all over the place, all across the Delaware Valley. All right, we were in Kennett Square. Do you remember that one? We were like all over the place. And it was awesome. Like to get to meet all those people that would come, and they were so kind. They'd bring gifts and smiles. And we would, during the breaks, you and I would be holding court. It was a gift.
Yeah, we'd have a producer shouting at us, "You're back on the air!"
Yeah. I have to tell you, I miss that. I truly miss the camaraderie of it. I miss the warmth of talking to people, and I do miss that time. Like that, it's interesting how time goes, and then you look back and you go, you know what? I should have enjoyed it even more, right? Because it was beautiful, and we were just connecting with people through our love of sports and the teams and the region and the city.
And everything else. Again, it was talk about family and friends and life and all of that. And I will tell you that when I'm really fortunate in that I was able to retire on my own terms. And you and I both know it's really rare in this business. You kind of go out when and where you want to go out. And I knew my contract was up in March, and they offered me an extension. I knew it's like, I'm ready to be done. And will always be just so grateful for the outpouring I got from people, the letters and the emails and the texts and gifts, and oh my goodness, it was really touching. You realize how much, and I don't mean to make this sound self-serving, but I think it's all of us who do this job, how much you are part of people's lives when you in my case, just hang around for 31 years.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever think when you came to Philadelphia from Florida, because you were in Florida?
I was in Detroit. I came
right.
from Detroit.
Florida to Detroit, then back to then to Philly. And you come here, and it was interesting because you immediately felt home. Like, I think a place chooses us, right? Like, I do feel like, and you had this connection, and all through the time that we worked together, that you had this beautiful, like, love affair with the soil. Like, you were like, I can live anywhere in the world, but I choose to live here. I choose to raise my family here.
Luckiest thing ever happened to me was I ended up here. I was writing for the Detroit Free Press. I got a call from the sports editor of the Inquirer offering a job. We liked Philadelphia. Judy and I liked Philadelphia because it was East Coast. We wanted to get back to the East Coast. Her family was in Boston. It was, close enough to get there. Just Philadelphia seemed like a big, big league city. And I never knew I would love it as much as I did. And I tell people that all the time. It was the luckiest move I ever made in my life.
Yeah, and you really felt the teams, the people, the camaraderie. The thing about Philadelphia, and I tell everybody, and this is something that and we've talked about this, we wrote, of course, the Great Philadelphia Fan Book together. And that is that it is a crusty exterior, but the warmth inside is lava hot, right? Like, it's beautiful, warm center.
Yeah. That's great. We did. That was a good book we wrote together, by the way.
I know. I thought about this.
I autographed it like 3 weeks ago.
Dude, we're coming back into a time. I was like, we need a sequel.
Somebody came up to me where I was a couple of weeks ago and had me autograph a copy, man. A well-leafed, well-written copy.
That was
fun.
Now they
gotta find you. That was fun. That was a lot of fun to write that thing.
Yeah, it really was. We had our book signing at Chickies and Pete's, which was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
We did a book signing at a book. We didn't know. Again, this is how you learn, right? We're working together, and it actually came after the first time when we stopped working together. But we enjoyed each other, so it's like, let's write a book. So we wrote the thing. And we didn't know if it was going to sell, right? People weren't really writing a lot of sports books at the time. And we went to a book signing. I think it was like a bookstore in a mall. People lined up around the hallway.
Yes.
It was unbelievable. Yes, we had no idea that was going to happen. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Anyway, those were good times.
You got to tell the stories about early days with one of the reasons why I believe the Eagles are as, engulfing is because of WIP, right? It's because of Big B, our old buddy Tom Bigby, and the edicts of, just talk Eagles, Glenn.
Yeah.
Talk Eagles, Glenn.
So this is when I'm working with Jody before you came in, right? And the Phillies were not very good, but they were having a good streak. This is like 96, 97. They weren't very good, but something happened, and they were worth talking about. I think they made a trade maybe they signed Greg Jeffries. Something noteworthy happened, right? And I'm talking baseball, and Bigby calls me in after the show, and he's got a newspaper open, right? And he turns it to the obit section. He says, "Glenn, you see this page?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Everybody on this page used to be a baseball fan. That's the people you're talking to. They're dead. The only people who like baseball are dead people and 5-year-olds, and that's not your audience."
It's classic. And then, it was just Eagles every day, which was amazing. And there was such an interesting story too, because when you and I get together, it's Andy's second year, and then it turned the quarter. But it was Andy and Donovan and Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner, and we must have talked about those four men hours every day.
Yeah, and the personalities were great, right? I mean, the team was fun. The personalities were good. You're right. It was a time when they were building. It was a really exciting time for the Eagles, who were on the rise and getting better. But I'll remember one other thing, and this bears out Bigby's point. If you remember the year the Flyers were good, was it 98 when they went to the finals? What was the year that Lindros went to the finals?
97, yeah.
97, okay. Right? So the Flyers became the story. And we're like talking Flyers every day, and what's Lindros going to do, and Brendan Moore, And then the ratings came in, and we tanked. It was like the worst ratings we ever had.
Wow.
And I remember that. I remember this because the Flyers were great and people were excited, but the ratings did not reflect it. And Bigby came in and he said, "All right, now we're done with all things Canadian. Let's get back to football."
But what's weird is that I remember you and I working together, and we did really well with Fly. Like, we would talk when playoff time came around. I mean, we would live it. Tampa.
Yeah, well, we loved it. Yeah, right. We went to Chicago, right?
Right. 2010.
Yeah, I remember do you remember what happened the day we're watching the first game in Chicago?
The Roy Halladay perfect game.
Yeah. Which at the time, nobody can really get it, right? So I just remember people are on their computers in the press box, and it was the little thing where it's like the diagram of like a guy on first, and then because nobody could stream it at the time.
Yes.
So you're just trying to watch it like that. Yeah. Yeah, but we loved hockey. We respected hockey. We could talk hockey. We got calls for hockey, but the ratings didn't bear it out. And I learned that. I never bought into Bigby's just talk football. But what I always learned is you can't let hockey or hoops take over the whole show.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we have, unless you were talking about AI. How about the Allen? How about the Iverson? Like, it was amazing through the years. Like, you started with Randall, right? And Buddy Ryan and and then it turned into Iverson, Eric Lindros. But AI, man, would spur a conversation. It was amazing.
The year they went to the finals, right, then we really got into it. And we were doing stunts. You remember we had people come in and put extensions in their hair. Yeah, I had the extensions in my hair.
I had the grows, man.
Right.
It was fabulous.
There's not a lot to braid here,
fabulous.
right? So we had to put on extensions. And people were coming in and getting tattoos on our show.
Yes.
Didn't you get a tattoo?
Yes. Like, oh, yeah, my back.
Yeah,
I got a tattoo. The skyline and the logo.
The bad logo. The bad logo.
Horrible logo. And everybody loves it. It's so old, right, that it's retro. And, like, JP loves it. Like,
now it works again.
Yeah, it's hysterical. Yeah. I love that Iverson logo. It's cool.
Yeah, now it's the equivalent of Kelly Green.
Yeah, exactly.
And Croce came in and got a tattoo on the show.
Oh, yeah. We had Pat. We did the whole thing. We lived it with those, which was a lot of fun. All the stunts and kind of living it with everybody. It was a blast. And of course, how about being from the Union League? How about when the Phillies win the World Series? How about that day? How beautiful that day was.
Two things I remember about that specifically. One is, and I like the guy, but Mark Rayfield, who was the program director, sold like 32 minutes of commercials every hour. So we're going like, oh, the float has turned the corner, and we're going to go to a break. And they're like, what the hell, right?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then I remember you were so excited that as it comes by, you go, Dave Montgomery, I love you, Dave. I love you.
We were eye to eye. You remember? Because he was at the top of the bus. We were on the balcony at the
the Union League. We had the best view in town.
We did. So we're at the Union League on Broad Street, overlooking like a sea of people. And so they're coming on the float, and we were almost eye to eye with David. Yeah, I remember saying that. I love you. It was so beautiful because it had been 100 seasons. Remember? Since the last parade.
It was 25 years, 4 teams, 100 season. It had been absolutely forever. And this is the one, man, it was so bottled up. It was like shaking a magnum of champagne for 25 years and letting that thing explode.
Yes.
I guess there could be a sexual reference there too, but we won't do that one.
Hey, a couple things. One, before we get out of here, I got to go over the schedule with you like all times. All right?
Yeah.
And tell us what you're doing with Ray, because I think this is really cool.
So Ray and I wrote a book some years ago, the Ultimate Book of Sports Movies, and off of that we created a program where we showed highlights of 9 or 10 of the greatest sports movies and talked about how they came to be and stuff. We've done that for a long time. We said, let's do something new. So we put together with Joe Conklin, there's 3 of us, have written a new thing called The Greatest Moments in Philadelphia Sports. So it's a countdown from 10 to 1. I mean, you clearly know all the moments, but 10 to 1, and we talk about how it happened, who was involved, show photos. Joe Conklin does some great voices. Ray has been to all of them. I've been to a lot of them. We tell stories, and we did our first rehearsal last week, and we were really excited about it. It's going to be good. We're doing it September 17th and 18th at the Ardmore Music Hall. That's going to be our premiere of the thing. Yeah, and the 18th is sold out. The Wednesday, the Tuesday, the 17th, has about 25 tickets left. So if you want to come, go to the website, tixr.com, type my name or Ray's name in the search bar, and you can do it. But listen, there have been a lot of great moments in the history of this city, and I'm lucky to be with Ray, who can tell it so well, and Joe, who can voice it so well. It's going to be a good show.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be that's a great idea. You guys will slay it, man. And you're going to have to take it around the city. You know that.
We got a book.
Different venues.
We got a second booking. We got a second booking in December at the Players Club of Swarthmore, a place that I'm involved in. So, yeah, we're gonna do it periodically.
All right. Let me know if you want to go to Parks. I'll get you at Parks Casino. All right.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Since we're running out of time, I got to do this with you. All right, this is like old times because we would do it. I couldn't wait for the schedule to come out, and we used to go through it all the time. I was a child. How about it? When I was like a kid in the candy store.
Go ahead.
Eagles, Packers, Brazil.
Loss.
Yeah, I kind of feeling that way too.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to get upset from the start. Okay.
No, I that game I'm a little concerned about.
Yeah.
Home Falcons.
Win, but scary.
Okay. At Saints.
Win.
At Buccaneers.
Win.
Home Browns.
Win. Oh, geez. I already got them 4-1.
I love it.
Yeah, okay.
At Giants.
Lose.
No.
Lose. Yeah, lose.
At Bengals.
Lose.
Home Jaguars.
Win.
At Dallas.
Win. You know, I never lost against the Cowboys. Over 30 years, I had them 60-0 against the Cowboys.
You wouldn't let, I still love that you wouldn't let your son's friend in the house with the cowboy jacket. You could come in, but the jacket stays on the porch.
That's exactly right. And NFL Films ended up making a promo out of it. I was honored about that.
It's awesome.
I threw the jacket out in the snow. Kid never came over again.
Home Washington.
What was the previous game?
Dallas.
Okay, home Washington's a loss. Trap game.
Yep.
Letdown
At
game.
Rams.
At who?
L.A. Rams.
Lose.
At Baltimore.
Win. They'll split those two games.
Okay. Home Carolina.
Win.
Home Pittsburgh.
Lose.
At Washington.
Win.
Home
I can't
Dallas.
pick Josh Harris. Josh Harris's team is not going to win.
Home Dallas.
Win.
For the division on Christmas Eve day. Or not actually, not Christmas Eve, but still near New Year's. And finally, home Giants to end the season.
Win. So what do I have that at?
So you
11
have
6?
them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got them 11-6, which I totally see.
Yeah.
11 wins.
I'm comfortable with that. I hear people say 14-3, 13-4. Like, I don't. You got to tell me exactly how last year's collapse doesn't count anymore, and then I'll think they're going to be 14-3. But they got flaws. They're a good team. Good team, win the division, but I don't think they're a super team.
Let's think best offense, best skill people in the history of the franchise, right?
And I want to see how much they miss Kelsey in every way on that offense. But yeah, I mean, the skill position players are incredible.
Yep, I'm with you. Prof, awesome, man. Great catching up, buddy.
Hey, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I'm available, so reach out.
Oh yeah. Oh, listen, I'm bugging you, man. You're going to be back. All right. So
all right,
I'm definitely bugging you, buddy.
I didn't get to say hi to Greg, so hi to Greg.
Yo, what up, Prop? Good to see you, man. We need a beer together.
I'm available for those very often.
Yeah, I like beers and mall walking, so you're ready to go. We're doing some early mall walking.
We got to get you to the studio. You'll love the studio here. It's not far from the original WIP studio. We're on 10th and Spring Garden.
Oh, that? Okay. That's fine.
All right.
Yeah, happy to do it.
I love it. All right, brother.
All right, guys.
Good love to the family.
Be well.
You too, man.
I will.
There he is.
As well.
Glen Macnow, the prof, hanging out. That was a blast. That was a lot of fun. Let's talk about Parks Casino. I was telling you about Glen's play with Ray and Joe Conklin. Are you kidding me? Parks would be perfect for it because they have all different venues. See, Parks is the #1 casino in Pennsylvania, a mecca of entertainment. So whether it's the 1,500-seat Excite Center, where JB Smoove, one of my favorites, is coming, Curb Your Enthusiasm, or Tiffany Haddish, who's hysterical. Parks Casino has it all. They have the restaurants. They have the 360 Lounge, right? And that's Joe Conklin. Speaking of Joe, they have the Joe Conklin Comedy Night every week. It's so much fun. You got to check out the Parks Casino and all it has to offer. Date night, right? Want a nice night out. The steakhouse is unbelievable. The gastropub is fantastic. They have we talk about the happy hours. We're going to be at the happy hour. We booked it next Thursday.
Let's go.
All
We're
right.
all going to be at the happy hour.
Cool.
At Parks Casino, Street Road, Bend, Salem. And we got the $5 drafts of all the Park Ford Stout, Victory Seasonal, Parks Pills, $5 glasses of Albertoni Cabernet, the Drink of Summer, the $5 Twisted Tea, Frozen Whiskey, Arnold Palmer's, and all, of course, the epic $5 small plates, the braised short rib slider, the hot honey chicken sliders, just incredible. Go to parkscasino.com for all things Parks. Got to be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parks Casino. This is how you win.
All right, ladies and gents, we still have summer, and the Phillies are in Philadelphia this week. So if you guys are looking for something to do this today or the rest of the week, head on down to South Philly. Head on over to the sports complex. Maybe go to Xfinity. Maybe go to Chickies and Pete's. Have a drink or two. And then right before first pitch, maybe an hour before. Don't do it right before. An hour before first pitch. I want you guys to head on over to our friends over at Game Time. All right, download that free app right now. Check out those tickets, and you will see what I've been talking about. All right, ladies and gents, we have people saving up to 60% off on these event tickets. It's insane. So head on over to Game Time, create that free account, right? Check out some of the seats, some of the pricing. You'll see the seats right before you buy. What I love even better is you will see the prices before checkout. We know you go in some other services, you hit the checkout page, they hit you with $1,000 of hidden fees. No. Game Time has you covered. They will let you know exactly what you're paying for right before. Full disclosure, I'm actually going to be using it this upcoming Saturday. There's going to be a nice reggaeton concert at the Met this upcoming Saturday night. I'm going to go right down, right an hour before. I'm going to check out those prices so I can prove to you folks that you are going to be saving with the Game Time app. All right. So don't do yourself a favor. Go check out some of the events that are going on in Philadelphia this week. Create that account. And then, of course, we have you hooked up with that promo code. PHLY will get you $20 off your first purchase. Again, promo code PHLY, $20 off. Get your event tickets only with the Game Time app. Thank you to our friends over at the Game Time app as well.
All right. Welcome back. That was fun. A little visit down the memory lane, hanging out. Well, we have another one coming. Very excited. We have a big announcement, and I'm so stoked. This has been in the works for a while, and of course, this is my old partner day, and joining us right now to announce his new show here on All PHLY, Johnny Marks.
I'm driving in listening to Anthony and Glenn again. I'm like, Jesus, what is going on here? Dude, not to totally bury you announcing the show. I used to listen to you guys when I worked with Mikey Miss, 2008, on the Fanatic, or it wasn't even the Fanatic at the time, right? Driving to Resorts Casino in Atlantic City, Tirico and Van Pelt were on our station.
Right.
And you and Glenn you did 10 to 3 at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I listen to you guys all the time anyway, but that was like an extended drive in.
Right.
Because I'm driving down Atlantic City and it was on a Friday, so I was listening to your football picks, the Rip It and Tear It guy.
Yeah,
I love listening to you guys.
Yeah, Rip It and Tear It.
It was awesome to listen to you listen to the reunion today. It was great.
It was fun. Are you kidding me? And so when we would be doing our drives, and we obviously I'd be listening.
You'd be
to
driving
you
home listening,
yeah. which is class. Which is the whole thing about, and what Glenn said about the community.
Yes.
What we love about, I know I can speak for you in this. What we love about our job is the community. It's the fans. It's the people you meet. Beautiful people.
There's nothing like it. I've met listeners that are now dear friends that like they're my friends, been like my high school friends. So yeah, it's and it's something that I've missed. Like if you were to ask me since you left WIP at the end of 2023, what have you missed? It's the community.
Yeah.
It's the fans. It's not being a part of it like you once were. And I'm really excited to get back to that.
I cannot wait, man. It'll be great to have something like you to listen to on the way in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be awesome to actually come in here, and you'll be here. So tell people when, where, and what time.
Well, so we're going to start off at 8 o'clock. So it's going to be 8 to 9 leading into you. The hope is sometime during the football season, we start it and we do it at 7 o'clock. But 8 to 9 to start, which will be awesome. And the show's going to be me. Tyler Zulli is going to be riding shotgun with me every morning. I plan on bringing in rotating guest hosts and things like that to make it pretty cool. And listen, I'm not the most intelligent person in the world. I'm not the dumbest person in the world. I like to keep things simple, Anthony. And we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk life. I'm a total mess. Like my life is a total mess. My daughter threw up on me this morning when I was driving her to my in-laws. First time I came down here, she threw up all over the car. So she didn't throw up in the car. She threw up on me this morning. So
been there, my brother. I know that vibe. I'm a complete mess as well. I think if you have kids, I don't know how you're not a mess. I'll be honest. My house is. I go to these people's houses and they're immaculate.
I don't, Anthony. Like when there's not enough hours in the day when you have kids and activities and school and work and everything else. How the hell you can have a clean house, laundry, bathrooms? It's unbelievable. So I'll bring a lot of that insanity to the air every morning.
Yes.
As we talk about all of our teams, which are awesome right now. Beginning of the Eagles season. Like, is there a better time to be starting the show? The answer is no. And I can't wait.
I can't wait. And I can't wait. We got to do a crossover.
All right.
The crossover, baby.
Yeah.
Crossover's back.
You can come. You can come. We can. Are we going to do like a? I remember Opie and Anthony. They used to go from terrestrial radio to satellite radio.
Yes.
They would do this walk.
Yeah.
Do I need to do a walk into your studio, or vice versa?
What studio you're going to be? Not going to be in this one?
Don't believe now because you're coming on right after us. I don't think at least. But there's a lot of details to still sort out. But I figure let's get on the air and organically things are gonna.
Well, I'll walk to your studio and then I'll walk back. So it'll be.
You can pop in and say hi and wrestle me.
Yeah, oh my
Give me
God.
a big hug.
Just like we used to do. How about in the morning? We'd walk in together and we would both be like half asleep walking in. And then right away, like the minute the coffee would hit, I'd be grabbing Johnny. Go, Giants, go! Football, baby!
I don't know how you did. Like are you a morning person?
Yes.
I don't know how you did a show with him at 6 a.m. I can't imagine what you at 6 a.m. was like.
But the thing with Anthony working mornings, he's still up till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning watching all the games to where I've been asleep since 9 o'clock.
Right.
Because I'm like, all right, Phillies game's almost over. But I mean, it's tough working mornings with the games, but you got to.
I could never jive to that. I needed to watch. I always felt like I couldn't just fast forward through a game. It was tough.
Well, you can't because there's with the commentary and situations in games. I mean, that's why when you watch the NFL games, I watch Red Zone most of the time unless it's an Eagles game. But you really miss the insights from Troy Aikman or from whoever when you're not watching these real games. It's the same thing when you're watching the Sixers or I want good insights from an analyst, and you miss that when you just fast forward through.
Yeah, you miss it. Plus, I love how it unfolds, right? Like I want to go for the ride of a game. Like there's
last night,
right? I mean, think about it. Think about that ride. Think about, and I was talking to VG earlier about the beauty of baseball. Johnny, we were freaking out, biting our nails to nubs, going, "Oh my God, how many people? Oh, they stink. They're not going to go anywhere. They can't go anywhere." And you knew that at some point it would break. You don't know when, you don't know how, but at some point they get back to themselves. So they put up 22 against good pitching in Kansas City.
Win 2 or 3, yeah.
Right? And then you come home and you had that game last night against a really good team. You're down 2-0. You claw your way back, and it's Harper against Hader, and there it is.
Again, it's a huge win. I mean, they need him at this point. They like you said, like there's going to be highs and lows during a season. There's going to be ups and downs. That when you have 162, even like with the Sixers and the Flyers,
right?
But like you said, when are they snapping out of it? And maybe they have. It's going to be a ride for sure over the next month.
Maybe they have.
Well, I mean, what are we talking about? Winning a World Series? We're talking about making the playoffs. The team's making the playoffs. They're a good team, but can they get the same mojo back that they had earlier in the season when they look like a championship team?
And listen, it's impossible to tell you, until you get to October.
We don't know.
You know how that works. But it feels like they're kind of close to themselves again. Again, Lugo's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
And he throws 9 pitches, an array of off-speed stuff. So, they were able to put up runs against him, put up crooked numbers. I don't know. Last night, Wheeler, I felt good. Ranger looked great Saturday.
Bryce Harper getting that hit last night.
Yeah.
And his face afterwards, it was almost like a relief. Because we've seen recently, last few weeks, how many times he's come up small in those situations. I'm worried about a double play ball or something when he's coming up in that situation. So it's good.
I'm so excited that you're going to be here.
He looks good.
He looks
got the nice button-down shirt. He's classing the joint up.
The Hemingway beard.
Dude, it's well groomed. The beard is well. There's no way you do that yourself.
It really works, the Hemingway beard.
No.
Look at the bro.
Is that what this is called?
The Hemingway beard. Yeah.
Yeah, come on in,
Here
Jamie.
comes this lunatic.
I'm trying to see if Jamie will come in once. I'm trying to see if Jamie will come in once a week to do the show, but like he's got his kids in the morning and everything else.
I'll be all over this.
He'll be. He's going to be all over.
All right.
He's everywhere.
So it's going to be. Yeah, could you imagine me doing a show with Jamie?
Bryce might be back.
He's back.
That's what I just said.
What's this might be back?
I just
I don't
said.
like this might be stuff.
So back to the show. 8 o'clock in the morning. It's available the same way you watch any of these programs on Roku now, which is like
How about it?
awesome.
Right?
And I didn't realize how many people use and watch Roku until the announcement came out. It was like, oh, I watch Roku all the time.
Oh yeah.
I already checked out Anthony from earlier today. So it's like, wow. So the ways to watch, the ways to listen are just skyrocketing. And it's I'm really, really excited to be a part of all of this. I mean, you
and I have been talking about this for a while, and I'm you know how much I love you, and I'm beyond thrilled. This was a leap of faith. PHLY, we're about to be a year old, and we have become part of the fabric of the city, which I'm thrilled about. You know,
I'm proud of what you guys have done. It's been fun to watch the growth. With you in particular, Anthony, thank you, because this was like you worked really hard to make this happen. This has been, like you had said, like for a while in the works, and we got it done. And I'm so excited to go forward. You mentioned the community of listeners and viewers or whatever. I am so excited to grow this community at PHLY because we have an amazing staff, an amazing cast of characters. And we're going to put out content on my show, on your show, on all the different shows that can't be matched. Yeah. And it's only getting bigger and better as we enter year 2. So
we're adding more shows. We're adding more different ways to communicate. We're having some fun. We got all kinds of our diehards, journalists are really good. So we cover you from that. And then we have the entertainment and we have the sports and the fun. I mean, like, you're a blast. Like, I love you have that pulse about life. So listening to you talk about life,
yes,
you always put a smile. Like, one of the things, I was always a fan of yours, and I always loved working with you because you made me laugh. You made me smile.
Well, I mean, I can't take life too seriously. We take this job very seriously, right? Because it's our job, but we don't take ourselves too seriously to where, bust my balls. I'm just like anybody else out there, and that's what we do. That's what guys do. You watch sports, like
the gummy over here,
or like the bro, like
violations gummy.
I love the bro. I love you, Jamie's so much fun, and I'm a lot like Larry Brown. Anthony, I love a good build. Now, I don't plan on bouncing around as much as Larry Brown. I bounce around a little bit, but I love a build. And to be able to come in here starting Tuesday at 8 a.m., day after Labor Day, and to start a show where you think you're like, all right, you think you know what a show's going to be, but it never ends up working out that way. It ends up being organic. You can't control what you want it to be. You can kind of point it in directions. And I'm just so excited to start something new and fresh. And I have so much energy, and I'm so ready to do this.
I know. Oh my God, I can't wait. And like you mentioned earlier, it's the start of the season, man. Like, how about a week from Friday? They're going to be in Brazil. What?
Which is crazy to think that they're in Brazil on a Friday.
They're in Brazil, right? And a week from now, it's unbelievable.
And if they don't score in the first quarter, all hell is going to break loose.
Oh, my God.
What are your expectations, Mr. Marks? What are your expectations?
11-6, winning the division, tying the Cowboys, but winning on a tiebreaker.
All right. And
That'd
what
be my
happens?
official prediction
Playoff
right now.
wins?
You want me to give the Super Bowl prediction now?
I said that same thing, but I don't have Super Bowl.
You didn't say 11. You didn't say 11 for months. You go.
This guy.
You said that
This
you
guy
would be
must do
shocked.
gummies. His short-term memory is beat.
Dude, you just got back earlier this morning. Did you not say you had no expectations
For Super Bowl. I know they're going to win 11
So
games.
if they win 11 games, they're up in the mix.
The expectation is the Super Bowl. Are you nuts?
Yeah.
It has to look at the team that they built. Whether they get there or not, but like you're not expecting Super Bowl. Like they could also win 9 games and miss the playoffs, and Sirianni gets fired.
Listen, if you say they're going to win 11 games and win a division, then you're automatically a contender.
No.
Home playoff
What do you mean,
game.
no?
Not with this defense. Not till we see it's drastically improved.
But if you are true and say that they're going to win the division,
This is all about Johnny at this point.
Well, let's
No,
back to
let's do
John.
this.
Well, now it's all apart. How the girls doing, buddy?
Bella threw up on me about an hour and a half ago. School started.
Oh, it started already? We're after Labor Day.
Can I say, what a violation. They're already canceling schools in Philly for Wednesday. Short dismissal.
Well, yeah, it's going to be 100 degrees in the schools.
Before Labor Day is a violation.
They don't have air
magnitude.
conditioning in the schools.
No, but what they should do is go after Labor Day.
Yes.
Like
I agree. I'm fine
You
with
should
that.
never start before Labor
Never.
Day.
You know what it's like? It's like the designated hitter. I was always against the DH, and then I realized that that's just going to happen, so I'm going to stop fighting it. And that's what it is with school starting.
You can't roll over like that, John. You got to fight.
There's nothing I can do about it. I know that it's coming.
Organized, grassroots organization.
I would love for the kids to be able to really enjoy their summer. You go back to school after Labor Day. I totally agree. It ain't happening.
Hold your kids out. Do not give in. Hold them out till after.
Hold out.
Hold out.
Yeah, you're like CD Lamb.
Yeah, organize a mass holdout.
They won't waive fines if I do that. You know, it's the same thing as the NFL. They get in trouble for doing it. Yeah, so like you had said, there's lots of trials and tribulations of life with having a third grader, second grader, and a 3-year-old.
Third grade, second grade, and a 3-year-old. How about that, BJ?
And my 3-year-old Anthony does not listen to anything that I say or do. Has turned into literally a terrorist overnight.
Yes.
In a couple weeks. It's not the terrible 2s, it's the terrible 3s.
Yeah.
And I'm told now, modern day parenting, you're not allowed to put them in timeouts or discipline them at all.
Whoa,
you're
no
just supposed
timeouts?
to talk to them about their feelings.
Really?
Oh, there's books and there's lots of literature on it.
timeouts?
Oh no, I can't forcibly
The
put her in her
timeout is no good.
So
I was down to my 20-second timeout. I was calling a 20-second timeout. I'm like, I got no more timeouts left.
She won't let me brush her teeth at night. Mommy. So I take her, try to get her in the bathroom. She takes her toothbrush and launches it. She's got a better arm than hurts. Went flying into the corner of the bathroom. Launched the toothbrush. Daddy, boom, hit me in the head.
Hey, can I ask?
Don't worry about it. Real quick. I'm sorry, BG. Just so you know, when they're in 6th grade, all right, they smell like Primos, right? Like like my Massimo. I go, oh God, what stinks, right? I go, did you take a shower? You have football practice. Like it's blazing hot. He's got football, right?
Those pads smell so bad.
And he goes, nah. And he crawls up on you. Like you don't want to get, like, I don't want to give up that. I love you, Dad. He crawls up on me.
Right.
And I'm like, and then he'll do the armpit in the face.
Oh, man.
Oh, he wants to get you with the love.
Yeah, of course.
And then he puts the armpit in the face. I go, God. This is what you get.
Different ages, different problems.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys because I thought I was at the game last night and I'm not around parents that often. So I need advice from you guys or your opinion. Family in front of me, 10-year-old, 12-year-old boys. They're on their little handheld devices playing video games the entire ball game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Can you regulate that as a parent? Can you say no devices at the ball game? Or is that just hell with no devices?
I wouldn't even take him. My 3-year-old, I out of desperation, I had to give her my phone at the Phillies game that we went to. It's a long time for her to sit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I don't.
By 10 or 12, they should be able to sit through a game without a hand device, right?
Not unless they're trained.
At the game, I'm not allowed.
No, just don't go to the game.
No.
Yeah, and it wasn't their phone. It was like an actual video game system.
No, I'm not allowing that. Listen, like my little one plays travel baseball. Yeah. You should be able to watch a game. I got to take him to the game.
You should want to watch the game.
Exactly. Yeah. I still got to twist their arms to actually watch the games on TV. It's bizarre. By the way, the Eagles have released John Ross. So
no real surprises today, probably.
No, I love the Dotson move, dude. Jahan!
It's a high upside, under contract for next year as well, so you don't have to worry about your wide receivers for 3 years. And like, you look at Jerry Jones, who finally signed CeeDee Lamb. You talk about a team that doesn't get it. They could have signed him.
Right.
They could have signed him in the offseason. Dak Prescott's still not. So the Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, they just pay everybody. And Dotson was a great move.
Hey, can I just read, because our Dallas team is breaking a story.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones talked to Clarence Hill of the All DLLS.
You see that?
And Jerry says, I've done it all, so I have an inordinate amount of confidence that bleep. If anyone can figure out how to get this crap done, I can figure out how to get it done. I've been there every which way from Sunday, and I've busted my ass a bunch. And there's nobody living that's out cutting and shooting that can't give you a bunch of times they busted their ass. So hell no, there's nobody that could bleeping come in here and do all the contracts and be a GM any better than I can. The buck stops here. When it F's up, I got to cover it. And so there, you can't give anybody enough. Can't give. There's nobody can do it. That's his quote. There's nobody can do it.
And they later asked them, they followed up and said, well, why don't you hire a GM? He said, I wouldn't hire a GM because I wouldn't listen to him. I wouldn't make all the moves.
This is so good having him down there.
I'll be honest with you. If I was an owner, like if I would be the same way.
It's awesome.
Right? Like,
it's awesome.
You know,
he doesn't give a damn
No.
that people are like, he doesn't care that it's been 28 years since they haven't won anything. He doesn't care. It's his team.
Right. He goes, my team. I go, I'm not giving well, if I'm a football guy, because he believes. You know what's funny? I had this conversation with Jeffrey Lurie one time. He was like, listen, I've owned the NFL team since 1994, whenever he brought it from Norman Braman. And he said, I'm at practices, I'm at drafts, I'm at workouts. He said, what qualifies me not to be a football guy? Right? Like I've spent the last 20 some odd years immersed in it.
Yeah.
And he's got a point.
He's got 30 years of experience.
Right.
Dude, we're in for he's going to be around. One more quote from this all DLLS thing. I effing have had hundreds of bad days. I'm emotional about sometimes. Well, running this thing, that's who I want to make the last call. Now, when I can't bleep and think, when I'm old and I can't even do it, but I'm a long way from not being able to do it.
He's like Logan Roy from Succession. Oh my God, that's fabulous.
Yeah, he's not, as long as he can, like, physically and mentally do it.
Yeah, as long as he can feed himself and put his shoes on.
He's going to be 88 years old. It's going to be like the president. He's going to be like 88 years old, and he's going to be going in there, and they're going to be like, "Oh my God!" And all the fans are going to be waiting for him to get out of there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good thing for us.
Yeah, it's incredible. My brother, I got to tell you, I'm just so excited to have you aboard. It's going to be great. Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
8 a.m.
is when we kick off. Right here on PHLY. This will be your lineup.
And everyone's asking, it's weekdays 8 to 9.
Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock. Tune in, all the appropriate places that you can normally do it. So, like, as we start a show, and it's been fun watching you guys get your start, like, we want people in from the ground floor. Like, let's do it. Let's grow together.
Yep.
And, like, I'm so excited. Sponsors out there, Anthony, people that have been with me for a long time, from the Fanatic to WIP, to maybe some people that are out there right now watching that have businesses or things like that. I spoke with
diehards. We always want to thank you guys for being diehards, hanging with us. All right.
Yep.
And now we got Johnny here. So tell us about your sponsors.
So Dr. Morgenstern, who now is working at the Glatt Group, I spoke with him yesterday, and he seems the team over there seemed pretty eager to jump on board from the beginning. Great.
I
talked to our old buddy Jim from Mark's Jewelers yesterday.
Yes.
I wanted to let all my friends know before we announced it today. So, like, we're going to grow as a show. Tyler's going to join me again, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. I love it. And who knows? I think an expansion. All the shows as we move further along this thing are going to grow and expand.
And when you outgrow an hour, when I outgrow an hour for various reasons, we'll go to 2. Yeah. I would say, Anthony, my goal would be to do 6 to 9.
Yes.
And when people are driving in the morning, they're getting in their car, instead of maybe looking for something on the dial, they're going to All City and they're listening.
Yep.
On the way in, because that's
at
what
some
we
point
want.
we're going to go 9 to 12, and it'll be a whole thing. I love it. Hang with us, man. Listen, we love you, Johnny. Thanks for believing in us, and everybody, we love you guys. Thanks for hanging as always. We'll see you in the morning. Go Fights!
We all silly like the mayor.